Hey guys, Phil Rogers and Jesse Moore here from Loan Market Edge. We are back. What's trending in lending? 2026, first one for the year. Jesse's, we're popping, oh, it sounds really bad. We're popping Jesse's cherry. His first what's trending in lending. So hopefully I won't pick on him as much as I did Loz. So let's see how we go. So what's trending in this week? Big thing that's probably very topical, fixed rates.
Fixed rates.
To fix or not to fix? That is the question. It's probably the phone call we're fielding the most at the moment across all areas of the business, existing clients, new clients. It seems to be very
People
topical.
Down the street, barbecues, weekend
chats.
Yeah,
it's the biggest bar. Oh, you're a broker. Should I fix? So maybe let's talk a little bit about that and maybe guide through some of the things we're talking about on those phone calls, right? Maybe some of the pros and cons. Why would someone fix?
It's a good question. It's a question.
It's a good question.
Question of the week. Yeah. Oh man, there's so many things that play into probably that question. I guess understanding first and foremost what's important to that client, understanding where they're at, understanding what future plans and goals are, understanding what the budget is, understanding what's affordable, understanding what we're seeing and maybe expecting the variable rates and where that's going to tie in. Are we fixing out of fear or are we fixing out of a need to know what those repayments are for 12 months, 24 months?
That's a big one, right? Like why would someone fix? Peace of mind, right? Security of repayments, right? The offset to that, or the offside to that, is there are some restrictions, 100%. Right? If you wanted to be able to pay extra, you can't. The majority of lenders, there are a couple that you can't pay extra. It's limited, or you're going to get access to reader, or there's a lot of restrictions.
Caps on offset account balances,
correct.
Benefit, I should say.
And so then if we're going to, why would someone go variable? Well, you have an ability to pay extra. There's unlimited repayments, right? But you're also exposed to the market for the whole amount. Another big one is probably around split loans. Many people may or may not know is you can have part fixed, part variable. It's like the best of both worlds. So you could have an $800,000 mortgage and you go, well, I'm going to fix 600. So week in, week out, I know exactly what those repayments are going to be, but I'll keep 200 variable, and that's going to be my target over the next 3 years. And even we break that back down a step and you go, well, what do you actually think you can pay extra? Because if it's if someone says I can pay an extra 25 per year and it's 3 years, well, we need to have a minimum of 75 variable. Like, it's really easy numbers. But again, the two most used words in our industry is kind of it depends, right? and a lot of those conversations for us are with the client, and it is very personalized. It's not, well, they've got the best rate. It's like, well, actually, let's take a step back, and it's like, what's best for you?
100%. Start with the client first, the bank last.
Yes, as we always say. And so, not financial advice, obviously, just throwing that out there, but by all means, if you're thinking about that or you're unsure or you go, oh, should I fix, should I say variable? Just give us a call. Whether you're a client of ours or not, we're more than happy to have a 15-minute chat and just help kind of unpack a few of those numbers. Maybe have a look at what your bank's doing, have a look at what another bank's doing, talk about the variable, understand all those things we spoke about there. Can you pay extra? What's your budget? Just reach out. The other one is just around, we've had some, much to the team's enjoyment, some very short turnaround times when it comes to sharp or fast settlements at the moment. And I thought it would be really relevant this week to talk a little bit about, with those fast settlements or with those short turnaround times, we're getting things that have maybe been to the bank or been declined. They're kind of coming back to our desk at maybe 2 weeks into a finance clause. We're getting a 1 week extension. They've got to settle a week after.
Coming to us with an unconditional contract.
Not to name any names. You know who you are if you're watching this. But, and then needing to turn that around very quickly and settle in, sometimes 2-3 weeks, right? Which traditionally might be 30 to 60 days. So maybe have we talked to what are some of the suggestions what are some of the ideas we could give people when it comes to, if it is a short turnaround time, if you want to you want to win the war, right? You want to get that offer accepted. You're at the table. Where does it start?
Way upstream, I would say, personally. That's probably what the devil's in the details, I think, with where we start. Understanding, again, intricacies of the client, the things that are playing into the contract, unpacking as much as we can up front so that as we move through, like realistically, from unconditional to settlement should hypothetically be the smoothest part of that process.
And the shortest.
Right? Absolutely.
So, and to just, I'm going to always interrupt you, so you'll get used to that. But to explain to someone there what actually happens in the process, once you're kind of unconditional, right, everything's done.
Yeah.
Valuations are done, applications approved. You basically signed your loan docs. All that needs to happen, and this day and age, probably 90% of the lenders we use, everything's digital.
Yeah.
So there's no paper docs. So literally, and that's such a good point, from unconditional to settlement, that should be happening. That can happen in hours in some lenders, right?
Yeah.
But within days. Digital loan docs come out the same day as the approval. They're signed the same day. They're returned to the bank. They're certified, and you're ready for settlement within days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Again, sometimes hours, which is crazy, but within days. So that part of the process is actually the shortest, the quickest, the most organised, would like to say the easiest, right? Ask out, and look, very fortunate. We have we've specialist teams within our process, and having a specialised settlements team
100%.
means that we've got people all day in, day out, that specialise in that. Their role for our client experience is unconditional settlement, right? And they are handling everything. They're talking to solicitors, they're talking to the banks, they're handling, and so we make that sound really easy. They're going to appreciate that. There is a lot involved, but having a big team help us move through that. That is actually the quickest part in general terms. It's, to your point, way back at the start of the application.
Well, it's only the quickest and the easiest if you deal with that stuff up front, or at least presume to understand, I guess answering the questions before they become questions of, is anything going to pop up in that period? Is there anything that we can sort of look to overcome early? I guess it's just better questions, get better answers. Having a good broker that deals with that stuff from the beginning, obviously very important, or someone who's across that. And
a hot tip, be pre-approved. Right? As much as we kind of, crack on about it's really important to get a pre-approval. It matters, right? Your offer, when purchasing a property, there's only two things you can negotiate on, right? In general, one's terms, two's price. So the stronger, better your terms, the more negotiation you've got on price. The better organised you are, not only the quicker it can be, but the stronger your offer can be, right? And if you don't have a pre-approval, the chances of you making a 7-day offer, an unconditional offer, bidding at auction, all of those things are off the table. 100%. If you're not pre-approved, then help us help you, right? These tips are about it. Actually, it isn't about there's this mad race at settlement time. The main positioning is all the way back at the time of the application. Be pre-approved up front. So by the time your application is you're pre-approved. Once you're pre-approved, the only step between there and formal approval is generally evaluation.
It's just the property.
It's finding a property, signing a contract, getting a valuation, and going back for approval. That's kind of days and hours, right? But if we get an unconditional contract without an application, or something has been declined, if we haven't seen your paperwork yet, we haven't looked at your documents, we haven't done any research.
So much room for stuff to go wrong.
There's so much stuff that needs to happen back here. And that puts the pressure, and people go, the settlement's delayed. Well, it actually goes all the way back to we set upstream where the application starts. So the more organised you can be with your documents, with the process, chat to us, your broker, as early as you can, then the tips when it comes to turning a settlement around, if we need to, rockstar clients get a rockstar experience. If you've done your bit up front, a little bit of homework from your side, but then we'll do all the hard work. If we're organised here, when it comes to formal approval and settlement, the terms that we can give you on a contract, instead of offering 14 days or 21 days, you might be 7 days, you might be able to sign an unconditional contract. Those things can happen here, which means your settlement can actually be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Which is crucial because it's so competitive at the moment, albeit everything going on and whatever you hear in the world, on the news, all the rest of it. At the end of the day, like you said, conditions and price. If you can come in and outbid everyone with just your conditions alone, that enough, if everyone's offering the same, can be what wins it. Like that's just simple as that, and that's the part where you also want to be smooth and easy. That's the exciting part. Loans approved, property's mine, happy days.
You do that little bit up front, we take care of the rest, right? But some tips there to make sure the more organised you are, the better position you'll be to make a strong offer. So cool, well that might wrap us up. That's the first one. What's trending in lending 2026? We're back. Any questions about anything we've spoken about today, or anything that is pressing or you're curious about, by all means jump on the phone, give us a call. Team's here to help. And likewise, even if you want to shoot an email, happy to talk topics on the next episode.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to hear what you guys are keen to hear as well.
Cool. See you soon. Bye.
See ya.